Welcome to PromptMaxing. Here's a quick tutorial on how to use the app. First of all, you have the quick and detailed mode. In the detailed mode, 5 questions get sent with each original prompt submission. In detailed mode, these are 2 forms with, in general, 30 questions that get sent. This one is, of course, much more detailed and much more tailored to your own needs and to your prompt. And that's why I would encourage you to use, if you have a very important task that you want an AI to do, or you have a very, very personal task that can't be generalized, that you use the detailed mode and put in the work with the 30 questions. I know 5 questions is way more comfortable, but it will not output the same quality as the 30 questions. Because the AI agent that processes your prompt and creates your refined prompt just does not have much information about you. Same goes for every input you create here. Write as much as you're comfortable sharing. If you want to write 30 lines of your original prompt, write 30 lines. If you have so much to say, just write it, because you want to let the AI agent have every information it needs, that it has to hallucinate as little as possible. Furthermore, you can also add additional details. These are also very important. For example, I would always add what large language model you are using. For example, that could be ChatGPT 5. Then the AI agent in the background knows, when it refines your prompt, for what large language model it has to optimize for. Furthermore, you can also add your goal, what you want to achieve with it, and everything you don't want to include in the prompt, but what is important to know. If you then send a prompt, for example, how do I get rich? This is a really generic prompt, and I would never I would never encourage you to write such a stupid prompt, because it even 30 questions is not enough to personalize such a short and widespread prompt for you. Write as much as possible about you. Then you have here the 5 questions in quick mode. You can write as much as you want here. If you want to write sentences, write sentences. The AI agent will pick out what's important for him later. You can just freely speak out your mind, what you think of these questions. If you don't have an idea, just write I don't know or something else. It's really, you can also disagree with the agent. If he asks a question that's not important for you, then you just write don't include that in the final prompt. You're really free to write anything you want here. But you have to answer every question to submit your answers. Also note that if you write informal in the original prompt and in these questions here, that the output later, the finished prompt, will also be in informal tone. So the AI agent will copy your tone you write. If you then wrote something here and want to continue later, you can just go away, go later back into the history and resume your optimization. Furthermore, if you go to personalization, it's the same rule as always. Write as much as you're comfortable sharing. Write as much about yourself as possible, because the AI agent then has a very, very better picture on what person you are and what to write in the finished prompt. If you don't want to include personalization for a request because it is not for you, it's for another person, or if it is a more general prompt that really does not have something to do with you, the AI agent will get confused with your personalization, and that's why you can just deactivate it here. If you ask a general request about something to research, most of the personalization data will not have any impact. That's why you can just deactivate it here. And what you have to note is that if I have it deactivated and send a prompt here, send the original prompt, that when I then resume this original prompt, I can explain it with this one earlier here. If I resume this one, I have to check if the personalization is still turned off. Because if some days passed and you want to continue now, the state of the personalization button here, if the personalization got sent with the original prompt or not, is not saved. So if you resume here and send these questions, it will check if the personalization is activated or not again. So if you send the original prompt without personalization, then turn the personalization on again, and then continue your optimization, the personalization will get sent with this continuation. If you don't want that to happen, and I would not encourage you to do that, because if you if the AI agent creates 5 questions for you without personalization, and then you suddenly send the personalization with it, it really doesn't make any sense. Then you could have sent the personalization from the beginning. You have a profile and a subscription page. Really nothing important. You just have to note that your name and last name also get sent with the personalization if you turn it on. If you don't want your name to be sent, you just have to use a fake name, I guess. And that's pretty much everything you have to know. If you have problems, just contact us. We answer in 1 or 2 working days maximum. If you have suggestions for a better user experience, also please reach out to us. We're happy to help you, and I hope you have a nice day.